Your tithe is not your seed. Your tithe is not your Sunday offering. Your tithe is not your money. Your tithe is not you doing favor to a church or to a pastor. Your tithe is God's portion. Just like your tax. You know what is called tax? Your tax is not your seed. Your tax is not your contribution. Your tax is government's money out of that revenue you have. That's why they don't negotiate with you before taking it. In some firms and offices, they just remove it before they pay you the salary. In other words, this is not your own. Out of this, your labor, this thing belongs to the government. Now, if we don't argue the area of tax, why do we argue that one that belongs to God? We are comfortable with government taking their tax, but we are not comfortable with the portion that belongs to God. Tithe of 1 million is how much? So God says, give me 100,000. Go with 900, but we still struggle. Tithe of 10,000 is how much? Tithe of 100,000 is how much? God, give me 1 million, I'll give you your tithe. That's just 100,000. God, give me 10 million, I'll give you tithe. That's just 1 million. Are you seeing this thing? But notice that little is always where the warfare is. That 2K, that 200. The other day I had to stop what I was doing. Even if it's 200, I will transfer it out. You need to fear God to respond like that. There's always that subtle warfare. But look at how you walk into the store to buy food of 2,000, you just give it out. But now that tithe of 2K, look at how you sweat to release it. Because Satan don't want you to prosper. Anything that has to do with God, he will fight it. 2K, 5K, you just walk in and buy. You don't think twice. But please, when it's time to give tithe, you negotiate, you fight, you complain. There's no network to transfer it, next year, next year. You know you are under warfare. Are you hearing me? Part of how you attract God's blessing is by honoring God. And you cannot honor God without your substance. I don't like teaching or allowing this money stuff. Some of you have been around me for a long time. The other day I was listening to a man of God, and he said when he started ministry, he was avoiding the issue with money. And God asked him a question. You taught them how to live righteously. You taught them on salvation and all that. Now you suddenly believe in the area of finance, they should just know. Just like you taught them every other thing, teach them finance. Because I hope you know Jesus spoke about money more than any other subject in the Bible. He rebuked people about money. He spoke about everything about money. People say Apostle Paul taught about money. You see it in Philippians, you see it in 2 Corinthians 8, you see it in 2 Corinthians 9, you see it in 2 Corinthians 15. Because the Bible says where a man's treasure is, that's where his heart is. If your treasure is in material things and just having, you can sell your salvation for a pot of beans, like Esau, who rejected his birthright for a pot of porridge.